Floods are major disasters affecting many countries of the world, especially most floodplain areas. Besides the damage it causes to human lives, animals, and properties, flood produces other secondary effects such as spread of diseases. In Nigeria, flooding has become a major hazard in recent years due to a growing population, rapid urbanization, and extreme weather events. Since 2012, when farmlands and other basic infrastructure in a good number of the coastal states in the country were washed away by flood, no fewer than 80% of the states in Nigeria have had cause to grapple with challenge of addressing the devastating effects of flood. In Delta State, the intractable challenge of both splash floods and other consequences of overflow of many river banks have been a major source of concern, especially during rainy season. Because of the peculiar topography of Delta as a coastal state, most communities are prone to flooding and erosion. Residents count losses whenever the state experiences heavy downpour. This very disturbing phenomenon has been one serious challenge that has taxed the ingenuity of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa since he assumed office on May 29, 2015.
Flooding problem is something that we witnessed in several states across the nation, and there is no doubt that earlier as a state were able to take some actions to solve the problem of flooding in the capital territory, whether for us.
As part of measures to address the menace, the Okowa-led administration commissioned a thorough study of the possible solution to the perennial flooding of the state. The results of the study propelled the administration to embark on the construction of both surface and underground storm drainages to channel water away from flood-prone areas of Asaba, the state capital. This construction of major drainages is being handled by reputable civil engineering companies.
Those places, when we are finished with the design stage, even if we are taking it up in bits, it will be given the right set of contractors. The one in Asaba now, they do the contract is spread between CC Nigeria Limited, the almost Chinese company, and separately. We are not giving it to small contractors because that is not an empowerment program. It is a program to achieve success.
We have a lot of tributaries of River Niger around the state, so it's prone to flooding at any given time when the rain comes.
The idea of the use of stormwater management and control measure to curb the ever-increasing Asaba flood came after a thorough baseline study with the active participation of the Nigeria Society of Engineers Asaba chapter. The ongoing construction of the 2.4-kilometer-long storm drainage, which is designed to deflood Asaba and environs, is a product of that study.
It took this administration 2 years to understudy Asaba and Okpanam area of the state capital to ensure that whatever we are doing, we get it right. And that period of study, which of course we employ the services of consultants, apart from the normal physical evaluation and study, there was this area study to get the topography of Asaba right.
What has happened in the past, the government has always done that in terms of giving us side drains, edge drains, and all sorts of draining patterns, culverts for flow-throughs, on all of that. We've done all of that, but that has not really been enough in every situation. In most cases, they've been sufficient and they've worked very well. But in the new instances we have found ourselves, it hasn't been sufficient, and so government is going the extra mile now to complete and do more work in that direction.
What we did here is a catch pit slash, we say, more of a retaining wall. Yeah, because you know, when you are here, when it rains, yeah, the volume of water coming from this place is so much that we have to create this catch pit so we can channel about 80-90% of the water towards this catch pit. Yeah. So if you can see, the height is about 1.5. The water will come here first, then to now pass through this Y that we created here to link to the deeper drain there. We have a 2-meter depth drain there. Yeah, it's more of a discharge.
This is the discharge point here on the project from Ekwoman down to this point. We have a borrow pit somewhere there, discharge the water. That's where we took our materials from. And we're taking this place as a discharge culvert for the project, where we're acting also speed breaker for transition between the 2 points. Whereas if you don't have a speed breaker, somebody can just keep coasting. Before you know, it's off the coast completely.
For the residents of Asaba and other adjoining communities, rainy seasons often breed fears. And this is understandable, as this period heralds tales of woes due to massive flooding of major streets, roads, schools, and even government offices.
Flooding has destroyed many things here in Asaba, and there are some houses which has been vandalized, and some people are not living there again due to flooding. Whatever they do to cross-check it to help Asaba and the individual that are living here.
Whenever it rains, we rarely pass this frontage, but with the project going on, I was told that it will connect a lot of other areas. So it's a pleasure, and the speed that they are using, I think before the next rainy season, we'll be somewhere.
In Asaba, a lot of things being done, like the Okpanam Road, the drainage system, and we believe that this year rainy season will not be like the previous ones.
Farmlands and other major sources of the people's livelihood are usually not spared by the ravaging flood that leaves in its wake sour taste in the mouths of many.
Several times, flood have carried my house back of stadium. During last year and last 2 years, I experienced fraud. We thank God that the governor will have now, the governor have us in their mind, and the governor wants good things for his people.
When you come along here, the water here will cover everywhere. You can't even know where is gutter and where is the main road. We are saying thank you for the one that he's doing, but we believe and we hope that he will do more, because that is the reason why we voted him into the seat there.
The theater of the erosive forces of the flood is the Okpanam Road axis, Cabinet Office Junction, Jesus Saves, Direct Labor Agency area, and Agric Road, just to mention but a few. Here, scores of homes and offices are often submerged, just as those living in these areas face Herculean task in getting to their homes. For vehicle owners, it is not a pleasant period too, as many abandon their vehicles due to sheer volume of the flood.
When it rains here in Asaba, it's a mess. You know, this area, Panam Road, you find vehicles stuck. You know, some they get bad and all that. There are some cases I joined to help push some vehicles that they stuck down as a result of the flood.
If you rain fall, it affects our keke. So one time we'll go mechanic, go rinse. So now we say, make God, make you give us strength, make you feel work the work where they work for us. The drainage, make it the rain fall, make it enter the gutter. So make we not feel they go mechanic at any time, make it where they go fall. And if you passenger call us on Okpanam Road, we go get my goal.
Going by this particular area where I am now, the cabinet axis, which is usually being flooded every time there is intense rainfall. The drainage system that the state government has embarked upon, it will go a long way to checkmate the issue of flood in this particular location.
Mindful of these unfortunate developments, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, in conceptualizing his smart agenda, made issues affecting the environment and government's commitment in dealing with environmental hazards like flooding and erosion menace a campaign item.
If you go around the city, you can actually see it. And when you talk about storm drainage, it's really the storm drainage in the true sense of it. And we believe that it will bring a permanent solution to flooding in the Capital Territory, and also helping to improve the aesthetics of the town, because the erosion has really done a lot of havoc to the the road projects we have in this vicinity. So with this, we believe that we'll get it sorted out.
True to his words, the administration's commitment to tackle headlong the enormous challenges posed by the incessant flooding of Asaba and its environs are quite visible.
Since the creation of the state, this is the first time that we are actively working to develop a drainage system in the state capital. Anybody who is familiar with Asaba will tell you that whenever it rains, it's a disgrace to the people of Delta State. But today, the governor is going out of his way, despite our lean purse, to create that major infrastructure need, that by the time he's done, Deltans will be very proud of his achievement.
Government have been going and coming. Though they tried, but it never worked. But this kind of project I see right here will help Asaba in a very wonderful way. So with this project, I don't think we'll suffer flood. More kudos to the governor.
Anytime there's rain in Asaba, you will see flood everywhere. But then he's trying to do something now to make it a thing of the past.
The issue of perennial flooding in Asaba has been a source of concern to inhabitants of the capital territory. This is because at the beginning of every rainy season, there is a concern that either the city will be submerged or farmlands washed away. The volume of water has been so intense that it seems to have defied all attempts by previous administrations to stem the tide. But a study of the way forward by the Okowa-led administration has led to the construction of this deep drain. It's about 2.4 kilometers long. As you can see, from top to bottom, it's at least 10 feet high. And it's so wide that you can even take a car to conveniently drive through all the way to River Niger, where the storm water is expected to discharge. At the completion of this project, the issue of flooding in Asaba will be confined to the dustbin of history. And as the Japanese will say, Yoshinai, Yoikangai, good thinking, good products.
Storm waters from Jesus Saves Streets, Nebisi Road, Anwai Road, DLA Road and Okpanam Road will all be connected to the storm drainage to empty into the River Niger through the Ambili Mocha River. To ensure that the stormwater management and control project is completed before the rainy season sets in, the administration awarded the job to two reputable international companies, the Chinese construction engineering company CCEC and Setraco Nigeria Limited.
They are doing very well. You can see the quality of work itself. I definitely marvel at the level of the precast, what we're seeing right here. There are one set of contractors that you don't actually need to truly supervise because they know what to do and they don't cut corners. They just do what they have to do, and we are very impressed with the level of work that they're doing.
The contractors are doing well, and with the pace they are going, there is no doubt within the shortest time, the stormwater drains will be completed.
Following the devastating flood disaster suffered by fish farmers in Camp 74 Fish Estate in Asaba, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa intervened by dredging the Anwai River and offering financial and technical assistance through the Office of the Chief Job Creation Officer of the state.
Whatever we are doing it because you first believed in yourselves and you believe that you are able to do it. You did not believe this was dirty. You believe that through this means you can stand as a man and feed your family and grow gradually for the future. So you have encouraged us in the first instance, and it is for us to be able to encourage you.
With what our amiable governor is doing, the drainage system, I believe we will never face flood again.
The drainage will really help a lot to reduce the flooding and also help us in getting fresh and good water.
Going by what he's doing now, dredging the river, we are very much assured, since the river has been opened and a little bit deepened, when all this river, water is being channeled into this place, the water will have an easy flow down to River Niger, and then we'll have a less risk to what we are doing here.
For me, as the CMO, it will work well, because the way the Swambigi take dredge the Anwai River, it make us be happy well, so that if the flood come, I feel say it no go affect our farm.
big heart. Come, live, invest, and explore the potentials of our Delta.
The administration has intensified efforts to address areas prone to flood and erosion menace. In Adagrasa, Sapele Local Government Area, Ogara, Ethiop West Local Government Area, Okoloba, Uwie Local Government Area, and Lower Erejua Street in Warri South Local Government Area, massive culverts were constructed with waterways channels to check flooding in these areas.
Prior to this time, this place used to be flooded, and some houses very close to the swamp are also disturbed, and a lot of people have sometimes lost their properties because of flood. I know of a school who has left this community because of flood.
You know, when you look at the place now, because of the water flow, people find it difficult to come in. There are some people who have portion of land here, but they cannot develop because of the water. But with this one now, we are happy because everywhere is dried up now, so they can come in to develop. And where, you know, where they are building houses and the place they develop, people will be populated there.
We thank government for what government has done to us, because we don't even know, say, government money go enter this our road. But today, I am very happy to see that government money don't enter our road.
Like we did once, so I get blessed with this bridge they do not so. I get blessed that flood now, I not much worry with. But the community, they happy to see this kind of thing.
This project will go a long way to help this the flow of business in this and in this arena. Before now, we've been experiencing water problems, but with little we have seen already, everything will flow well.
We are happy. This will help our movements, help our work. People will be passing. People are not passing here much again. But now, they are praying to God, the road is okay, the work is okay. I think we will make small, little money nowadays. Okowa is our man. For this, God will bless him.
You will also realize that at the town hall meeting, the people of Warri South actually asked for a proper drainage that would be done in the whole of Warri. Unfortunately, we've been in the past, we've been doing a kind of make and ship kind of drain without having a study. And I did promise them that we will. So we're going to set up a team with a consultant along with some selected elders in the place who understand the topography of the area, at least at the time they were growing up, to be able to do a proper design. I guess that will take us another 1 year to be able to come up with the design before we can come up with a proper holistic drainage for the Warri environment.
Indeed, the sincere commitment of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to cushion the effects of flood and erosion in affected areas of the state has attracted the admiration of the World Bank. Today, Delta State is one of the 21 states out of the 36 states in the country that is partnering with the World Bank on erosion and watershed management project.
There is synergy in what we are doing. We will not work where state government is working, so that we will not duplicate effort. Erosion is not the only ecological problem we have in the environment. So, and flood is also tied to erosion. So in the three local in the senatorial district where we are intervening is mainly erosion. Then in the center is flood.
As part of measures to ensure that projects are done to specifications, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa has made it a state policy to inspect projects periodically before they are commissioned. These regular inspections by the governor is complemented by the State Commissioner for Works and other key officials who are constantly on the field to ensure full compliance to standards.
Yes, sir, so it will continue like this for quite some time, up till after the hospital is still an open channel.
Apparently here, a lot more has been achieved. You can see meaningful work going on. Our own is to continue to apply pressure on contractors. We must. So they don't just work. People are working even when it's after 1 because of the seriousness of the case.
Another impactful flood control measure adopted by Governor Ifeanyi Okowa to tackle the ever-devastating effect of flood in the state is the construction of line drainage along a good number of city and intercity roads. These drains have the dual function of elongating the life of the roads and preventing communities along such water channels from being submerged. The drains equally add to the beauty of the environment.
You better run, come to Delta State. Come and see the good things where Okowa they do. You better run, come to Delta State. Come and see the good things where Okowa they do. I say good roads everywhere in Delta make the people say them cola. Come live in Delta. Say me I say. Come invest in Delta. Come explore the potentials of our state.
The crusades to salvage Delta State from the menace of flooding requires the cooperation and commitment of all Deltans, as the unhygienic attitude of blocking the drains with refuse and other domestic waste have the tendency to compound the problem of flooding in communities. Truly, the Stormwater Management and Control Project is going to be very impactful in finding an immediate and lasting solution to the problem of flooding in the state.
It's actually wide so that it can contain a very large amount of water flowing from Akpu Junction and the roundabout. If you check from the Akpu Junction, we have a ground level that is down and this place is upward. So for us to get a direct slope, we have to make this place deeper and that place more shallow.
We as residents in any geographical location should be rest assured that anything we do, indiscriminate dumping of refuse in places where they are not supposed to be dumped, that can result to flooding, should be checkmated by us.
The government should melt out punishment to people who just come out and dump refuse into drainages to block this thing.
With the noticeable flood control measures so far put in place in most flood-prone areas, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa is gradually winning the war against flooding and erosion in Delta State.
Out of the 10 states marked for this annual system, Delta State was one of them. It's sited at Patani Riverside. The system measured the water level, the amount of rainfall, the temperature, the wind speed, and is automated with a lot of sensors, so many sensors. Once they get their record, they bill it off into the satellite and send to the control unit.
We will celebrate Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa as a governor. I know we are going to celebrate him because it is a very difficult task where you see that so much money is going for just drainages. But we have to do it. Because if we say let us do maintenance, for how long we are going to do all of that?
Welcome to Delta. My Delta, my Delta. Welcome to Delta. My Delta, my Delta. Come live in Delta. Come invest in Delta. Come explore the potentials of our state. Come live in Delta. Come invest in Delta. Come explore the potentials of our state. You are welcome. Welcome to Delta State. You are welcome. A state peaceful and well secured. You are welcome. A state we got the black gold. You are welcome. Our eyes is always on the prize. You are welcome. Welcome to Delta State. You are welcome. A state peaceful and well secured. You are welcome. We fill with hope and promises. You are welcome. A state where talents are born. Come live in Delta. Come invest in Delta. Come explore the potentials of our state. Come live in Delta. Come invest in Delta. Come explore the potentials of our state. What's that? You better run, come come to Delta State. Come and see the good things where Okowa they do you better. Run, come to Delta State. Come and see the good things where Okowa they do. I see your job and work creation in Delta. Make the youth say them highlight. Okowa. I see good roads everywhere in Delta. Make the people say them cola.